Hello and welcome to 7199992's first tutorial. In this tutorial I'll show you how to make a very simple yet pretty effective trap. Now you could do this with anything, any shape, any size, and just put the trap somewhere and have the turret looking at it. But I'm just going to use a tunnel with the turret at the end. And once you walk past this little beam of light, or at least so it looks, the turret will activate, so it will be deadly. So you'll need Phoenix Mod, or it will be nice to have Phoenix Mod. You don't need Phoenix Mod, and Wiremod, and preferably Smart Snap, but you don't need Smart Snap. Okay, so make 3 2x4 metal plates. Yay, you have 3 metal plates. Okay, you can use E to rotate it, but you need Shift E to rotate it, so it's much easier to work with. Okay. Right click to freeze. Now you're going to set up the tunnel, so it's going to be a tunnel. But just so it's much, now it's smart. So now it's easy weld this. Okay, make sure you have it same on both sides, otherwise it'll look really crooked. It doesn't look very good. It'll still work just fine, but it doesn't look as good. That's never good. So easy weld that to that. You can see why Smart Snap really works well. Gets a very, very nice snap to it. It will make it look much, much better when you're finished. So, the very edge, click it to, whoops, the very edge in here. Okay, we have our tunnel. Now make sure you actually freeze one of them. I was playing with this earlier. If you don't freeze it, and you have your turret's pressure, like force at really, really high, whoops, it will absolutely move it, and it will absolutely mess you up, which isn't very good. So let's weld these things together, just for more stability. Okay. Now you can use an expression chip, or you can use a gate chip. I'll show you both ways. So let's create a little panel at the end, and this is where the turret will be. Now you might be thinking, well, you can't walk through that. What's the good of that? Well, for you, well, you can't, but we can set it so you can, using the amazing No Collide tool. Love that tool. Okay, here we go. Now let's make a wire turret at the end of it. Just choose whatever settings you want, but the higher settings on each thing is usually better, except for tracer, every blank bullets. I don't even know what that is. So use a turret. I like to place it in the middle, but you don't have to. You can place it wherever, or you can even place multiple. So I'll do that. Yay. Okay, now that will absolutely destroy. Now you'll need a ranger. So go under wire detection and choose ranger. And set the range to 94. I find if you made it so it's right on its edge. So it's not totally on there, but it's on its edge. That'll work best. Now, it should okay, so 94 usually works, but today it's not going to. It's hitting the wall, which sets it to 92. No worry, just set the range to 92 and click it to update it. Now, range should be 0, and if it isn't, that means and if the max range is like 92 and then it says range 92, that means that you don't have your default to 0 on, and for this you do want default to 0 on. Show beam, it's up to you, but in the end it won't show, so that's ignore roll you want and output distance you want. Okay. I'll show you how to do this with an expression chip and without an expression chip. So if you like programming or don't like programming. So make a new expression and call it whatever you want. That name, I have no idea what it does, since it doesn't seem to really work since you save with another name. Now inputs, we're going to be inputting the distance from the ranger. So I'll put distance. Make sure whatever variable you put in there, you can put in anything. Make sure it starts with a capital letter, and different variables start with the space. So it has to be one word. So you could say distance and then without a space say 4 noobs or something. I don't know. I don't like putting that big since it's more typing, so smaller is better, but you want to be able to make sure you can understand it later if you come back to it. Now the outputs, we want to say if the turret's going to fire, or the turrets. Now you don't need multiple, but I did put multiple because, well, that's just going to blow up the guy much better. Okay. Now to check if something is true, you put if, then use the brackets with the shift and the 9 and the 0, these brackets. And to not to say I'm going to do this, use shift and then the letter beside the P to the right of the P on a QWERTY keyboard and to the left of the backward slash. So you need the brackets to say if this is true. So if the distance is 0, that means there's nobody there since it's not picking up anything. So you put distance equal to, because that's checking if it's equal to that. If you have one equal sign, it would set it to that. Then 0. So if the distance is 0, we want to make sure the turret's not firing. Only with the expression chip do you have to reset it back to 0. Otherwise, you only have to set it to 1. So if you use the gate chip, it will automatically do it for you, and you wouldn't need it. You'll see, because I'm going to show you both ways. So fire equals 0, and then do this with the greater than sign. So if the distance is greater than 0, if somebody is there, then fire equals 1, because you want the turret to fire. Okay, click the validate at the bottom, or wherever it says, at the very bottom. And if it says successful, it's good. You can save and exit, call wherever you want. Turret for losers, or losers that walk in. Okay, there you have it. Okay, you could put monitors here just to see what's going on, but you don't need them, so I won't. So let's wire this up. It should work right from the get-go. So right as we do this. Now you just wire all of these up to here, because you need to do one for every turret. You can use C and just now this is going to absolutely wreck me when I go past the beam, so it'll be very cool. Now if you want, now just so it doesn't change the view once it's done firing, I'll just put camera right here. It's absolutely useless really for what it's going to do, so you don't need it, but it's nice to see what's going on, well, from a different viewpoint. Yeah. Okay, so you can see me go and walk through. Let's get the physics. There we go. Make sure at least one piece is frozen, otherwise it will not work very well, because it will just move right back. Okay, I can't seem to click that. Just freeze everything. Absolutely destroyed. Okay, so that's what happens. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to redo the exact same thing. Yes, the same thing, but instead of using the expression chip, we're going to do it without all that programming. We're just going to make a whole bunch of chips